Spam is one of the most iconic and recognizable canned meat products in the world. With over 7 billion cans sold since its creation in 1937, Spam has become a staple in kitchens across the globe. But have you ever wondered how this salty, savory meat is actually made? In this video, we're going behind the scenes of a Spam processing factory to show you the incredible journey from raw ingredients to the finished product on store shelves. We'll take you through each step of the process, from sourcing the pork to the final packaging, to reveal how millions of Spam cans are produced every year. So get ready for a fascinating look at the inner workings of the Spam factory and learn the secrets behind this beloved canned meat. Let's dive in. Chapter 1. The History of Spam. Before we get into the nitty-gritty of Spam production, let's take a quick look back at the history of this iconic brand. Spam was created in 1937 by the Hormel Foods Corporation in Austin, Minnesota. The name Spam was chosen as a combination of spiced and ham, reflecting the two main ingredients in the original recipe. Spam first gained widespread popularity during World War II, when it was a vital source of protein for American troops and civilians. With fresh meat in short supply, Spam became a nutritious and shelf-stable option that could be easily transported and stored. In fact, over 150 million pounds of Spam were purchased by the military during the war years. After the war, Spam's popularity continued to grow, especially in places like Hawaii, Guam, and the Philippines, where it was embraced as part of local cuisine. Today, over 7 billion cans of Spam have been sold worldwide, and it remains a beloved comfort food for many. Chapter 2. Sourcing the ingredients. So, how exactly does Hormel take Spam from a simple recipe to millions of cans? It all starts with sourcing the highest quality ingredients. The main components of Spam are pork shoulder and ham, salt, water, sugar, sodium nitrite, a preservative. Let's take a closer look at where each of these ingredients comes from and how they are selected for Spam production. As you might expect, the pork is the star of the Spam show. Hormel sources pork shoulder and ham from its own farms, as well as a network of trusted suppliers across the United States. The company has very strict standards when it comes to the quality and safety of the pork they use. All pork destined for Spam production is carefully inspected upon arrival at the factory. Samples are tested for things like bacterial contamination, chemical residues, and foreign objects. Any pork that doesn't meet Hormel's rigorous standards is immediately rejected. The pork is also graded based on fat content, with leaner cuts used for Spam and fattier trimmings used for other Hormel products. This ensures that each can of Spam has a consistent texture and flavor. In addition to the pork, Spam contains a few key seasonings and preservatives. Salt provides flavor and acts as a preservative. Sugar balances the saltiness and adds a subtle sweetness. Sodium nitrite helps prevent bacterial growth and gives Spam its distinctive pink color. These ingredients are carefully measured and mixed in with the pork to create the Spam recipe. Sodium nitrite in particular is closely monitored to ensure it is used at safe levels. Water is added to the Spam mixture to help bind the ingredients together and create the smooth, spreadable texture that Spam is known for. The amount of water used is precisely controlled to maintain the perfect consistency. Chapter 3. The processing line. Now that we've covered the key ingredients, let's take a look at how they come together to make Spam in the factory. The process begins in the meat preparation area, where the pork shoulder and ham are trimmed, cut, and ground into a fine consistency. The ground pork is then transferred to large mixing vats where the salt, sugar, sodium nitrite, and water are added. The mixture is blended together thoroughly to ensure even distribution of the seasonings. This is a critical step to make sure each can of Spam tastes exactly the same. After mixing, the Spam batter is pumped into a filling machine. This specialized equipment portions out the mixture into the iconic Spam cans with extreme precision. The cans are filled to the exact weight and volume required for each size of Spam. Chapter 4. Canning and Sealing. Once the cans are filled, they move on to the sealing process. This is done by a machine that places the lids on the cans and crimps them on tightly. The cans are then conveyed through a water bath to check for any leaks or imperfections in the seal. Proper sealing is absolutely essential to ensure the Spam stays fresh and free of contaminants. If any air gets into the can, it can cause the Spam to spoil. That's why Hormel has multiple checkpoints to test the integrity of the seals. After sealing, the cans are washed and dried to remove any residue or moisture on the outside. They are then ready for the next critical step in the Spam production process. Chapter 5. Cooking and Sterilization. With the cans filled and sealed, it's time to cook the Spam. This is done in large pressurized retorts, which are essentially giant pressure cookers. The cans are loaded into the retorts and subjected to high heat and pressure for a specific amount of time. The cooking process serves two main purposes. 1. It fully cooks the pork and other ingredients, making the Spam safe to eat. 2. It sterilizes the contents of the can, killing any bacteria that could cause spoilage. The temperature and pressure inside the retorts are carefully monitored to ensure the Spam reaches the proper internal temperature for a sufficient time. This is a crucial food safety step that allows Spam to have such a long shelf life. After cooking, the cans are rapidly cooled to stop the cooking process. They are then inspected again for any defects or leaks before moving on to the final stages of production. Chapter 6. Quality Control. Speaking of inspections, quality control is a huge part of Spam manufacturing. At every stage of the process, samples are taken and tested to ensure the product meets Hormel's rigorous standards. Hormel has a team of dedicated quality assurance professionals who oversee the production process. They have the authority to stop the line if any issues are detected. This commitment to quality control is what gives Spam its consistent taste and texture from can to can. Chapter 7. Packaging and Labeling. With the Spam fully cooked and sealed, it's time for the final steps of packaging and labeling. The cans are first printed with the Spam logo, expiration date, and other required information. They are then packed into cardboard cases for shipping. The cases are palletized and shrink-wrapped for stability. They are also labeled with barcodes and other tracking information to help Hormel monitor where each batch of Spam is distributed. The pallets are then loaded onto trucks and shipped to warehouses and retailers around the world. Spam is sold in over 44 countries, so the packaging and labeling have to be done in multiple languages. Chapter 8. Distribution and Logistics. Getting millions of cans of Spam from the factory to store shelves is a massive logistical challenge. Hormel has a vast network of distribution centers and transportation partners to make it happen. The company operates several large warehouses where finished Spam is stored before being shipped out. These warehouses use advanced inventory management systems to track every case of Spam. This allows Hormel to quickly fulfill orders and ensure stores never run out of stock. When an order comes in, the warehouse staff picks the required number of cases and loads them onto trucks for delivery. Hormel has its own fleet of refrigerated trucks that can transport Spam to nearby locations. For longer distances, they partner with third-party trucking companies and rail carriers. The goal is to get Spam from the factory to the store shelf as quickly as possible while maintaining freshness. Most Spam is delivered to retailers within a few days of being produced. This just-in-time delivery model helps minimize storage time and ensure maximum shelf life for consumers. Conclusion. And there you have it, the incredible journey of how millions of Spam cans are made every year. From sourcing the finest pork to the final packaging, it's an amazing process that combines cutting-edge technology with old-fashioned quality control. Spam has come a long way since its humble beginnings in 1937. What started as simple canned meat has grown into a global phenomenon with countless recipes and devoted fans. And at the heart of it all is a factory in Austin, Minnesota that works tirelessly to keep the world stocked with Spam. So the next time you crack open a can of Spam, take a moment to appreciate the incredible story behind it. From the farmers who raise the pigs to the factory workers who seal each can, it's a true labor of love. Spam may be simple, but the effort that goes into making it is anything but. Thanks for joining us on this behind-the-scenes tour of the Spam factory. We hope you've gained a new appreciation for this iconic canned meat. Now go forth and enjoy your Spam in all its salty, savory glory.